If the UK rail system feels confusing or daunting, this episode explains how UK rail expert Doug Collins can help you understand your options, plan your train travel more realistically, and feel more confident about navigating the UK rail system as part of your trip.
Welcome to the UK Travel Planning Podcast. Your host is the founder of the UK Travel Planning website, Tracy Collins. Each week, Tracy shares destination guides, travel tips and itinerary ideas, as well as interviews with a variety of guests who share their knowledge and experience of UK travel to help you plan your perfect UK vacation. Join us as we explore the UK from cosmopolitan cities to quaint villages, from historic castles to beautiful islands, and from the picturesque countryside to seaside towns.
Before we get started, we'd like to thank our sponsor, Walks and Devour Tours. If you're planning a trip to London, you'll already know the challenge. There's a lot you want to do and only a limited amount of time to fit it all in. That's where the right tour makes all the difference, because you want experiences that are the best use of your time, with more access, less waiting and a deeper sense of the city. That's why we recommend Walks and Devour Tours. They offer walking tours and food tours designed to make your time count, often with early or after hours entry. You'll also be with exceptional local guides who add the stories and context, so you leave with a richer understanding of what you're seeing and a trip that feels genuinely memorable. If you're visiting London as a couple, with family, or you simply prefer a more intimate experience, Walks and Devour Tours also offer private tour options. To learn more, you'll find the link in the show notes. Now let's get into this week's episode. Hi, everybody, and welcome to this week's episode of the UK Travel Planning Podcast. Now, we know that train travel is a major kind of pain point for a lot of you. And I have Doug here this week.
That's me.
Gate crashing the podcast once again, but this is a perfect opportunity for Doug to kind of share his expertise and knowledge with you guys about train travel, because we hear all the time that you're excited about your trip, but you're unsure once you start looking at train routes, ticket options. I mean, there's so many different ticket options, passes, all the rest of it, how it all fits together. So I thought this would be a good opportunity for Doug to come on as our UK rail expert and tell you actually how he's an expert, why he's an expert, and how he can help you understand your options, plan your train travel more realistically, and feel more confident about this part of your trip. Yeah. Now, we work with travellers from all sorts of different places in the world and also sorts of different stages of planning. So if you just start now, if you already have an itinerary and you want some expert reassurance before you book anything, we can cover all bases, and we're going to talk about that in this episode and what Doug can offer as well. And actually this came out of, I actually want to just say where this came out of, Doug, because I think it's important. So I, obviously on Facebook, Doug's got his UK Train Travel Tips Facebook group.
That's right.
And also we have the UK Travel Planning Group and the London Travel Planning Group. So we often get questions about train travel. And obviously I'm in other groups just to see what people are doing and asking. And I was incredibly frustrated about, well, I don't know, maybe 3 or 4 days ago when I was in a group and I read the misinformation, disinformation, nonsense that was being spread about travel in the UK by train. And I struggle because I want to say to people, look, join the UK Train Travel Tips group. Don't listen to somebody who's been travelled on a train for 5 minutes and think they know everything. Because it's so important. It's so frustrating because I want to correct that information. And obviously I can't because I'm going to get kicked out of these groups. But I have said to all the people in our groups, please recommend to people to listen to the podcast or join our Facebook groups. Anyway, so that's what I wanted to come in to actually chat, and I wanted Doug to share with you his expertise, his knowledge, and why and how actually people get themselves in knots and so confused and so stressed out, and how he can help you with that. All right. So, Doug, do you want to just say hello again, I guess?
It's Doug here. Yes, trains are in my blood.
They are.
There's
they
no
certainly
getting
are.
away from it. I mean, I'm nearly weeks away from being 50-something, 57. And that's all.
Yeah, that's right. That is correct. Yes.
And my father worked for the railways in the UK. So from a very, very young age, trains have been my entire life. And we travelled around by train when I was growing up. And then as soon as I was old enough, I was out on the train all around the UK and away all weekend and just non-stop travelling. And then I worked for the railways as well for many years. And
you worked in lots of different ways as well, and roles in the railway. So I don't know anybody who is a kind of depth of knowledge about all the different train lines. Like, you've done every single train line.
I have. When I was an apprentice on the railway, electrical engineering apprentice, I and a good friend, we travelled the whole country and continue to travel by rail across the UK everywhere.
I know, and I've joined you.
Lines and that's it. So, I do have good route knowledge, even when I worked on the railways, because it was quite unique in the fact I had a lot of engineering and project management experience of trains themselves, but also on the operational side. Yes. So it was quite a unique collection of roles I had.
Yeah.
And a project management roles as well. So, yes, I've managed teams, I've managed...
So it's right to say things. You know what you're talking about when it comes to
no question
the UK railways.
No question. No question that could be asked about the railways that I've not come across or experienced in one form or another.
Exactly. So let's talk about what it is that people find daunting when they're starting to plan UK train travel. What is confusing about the UK rail system?
I think because it's comprehensive. Yes, there is gaps in the rail coverage around different parts of the country, but on about as a system, as a network, the UK railways is pretty damn good. People can challenge that, and yes, they've had strikes in the past and various issues, but compared to a lot of countries, the UK rail system is absolutely excellent. And I really mean that, like in London. So when people come from a country where they've not got great rail experience, it is overwhelming.
Yeah.
It does make people anxious.
Yeah.
So what we try and do together, and with our fantastic moderators in the train groups as well, and all our groups, is we're trying to lay down figures. We try and signpost people to the information that we have, to me, for question and answers, for consults. Yeah. So it's just coming from a place where they're not used to the rail industry. They're not used to travelling by train. It might be the first time they've actually ever caught a train, which comes up quite often.
Yep.
So,
true.
Yes, I can understand why it can be overwhelming and a bit confusing.
So what do you think of the assumptions that people often make that don't quite match how things work in reality?
Trains are always on strike. I think they misunderstand that one.
Yeah.
Yes, like any other industry around the world, yes, they can have issues. Weather can play the part. But there's a lot of media damage done about the UK train industry around the world, and it puts the wrong impression, it puts the wrong images in, and I think it just causes more confusion than it actually solves sometimes.
And there's a good point there, because I know we get asked quite a lot, because there have been in recent years quite a few train strikes, but
True.
we have actually pointed out on numerous occasions that you could be on a train in France or Italy and you will just get dumped at a train station.
You're speaking from experience.
Yes,
there,
I am. Yeah, they can go on strike without any warning at that. Whereas in the UK, they have to let you know.
Yeah, there's certain legislation
before.
They have to follow.
Yeah,
that's
so you
right.
can, if you have to, make alternate plans. So for things like that, it's hard and it's difficult,
yes.
and we've had to help people in the past that have been caught out by things that when they've been in the UK. But
you could equally be travelling by a road, and the road works, and you have unexpected weather. So that's part of travel, whether it's in your home country or in a different country.
No, I'm going to say like the majority of the time, they have to let you know about a strike. So you can plan around that.
An official strike, they have to let you know about 2 weeks' notice. Yeah. It's the things like the overtime bans, which just cause more problems historically.
Right. Okay. So at what point do travellers usually start to feel uncertain or second guess their plans? Just a quick pause to thank our sponsor, Walks and Devour Tours. If you're planning a trip to London, you'll already know the challenge. There's a lot you want to do and only a limited amount of time to fit it all in. That's where the right tour makes all the difference, because you want experiences that are the best use of your time, with more access, less waiting, and a deeper sense of the city. That's why we recommend Walks and Devour Tours. They offer walking tours and food tours designed to make your time count, often with early or after hours entry. You'll also be with exceptional local guides who add the stories and context, so you leave with a richer understanding of what you're seeing and a trip that feels genuinely memorable. If you're visiting London as a couple, with family, or you simply prefer a more intimate experience, Walks and Devour Tours also offer private tour options. To learn more, you'll find the link in the show notes.
Well, I think that's at any stage in their planning. But what they do is they do the Google searches and they're looking in wrong groups and non-specialist groups, and they listen to people with limited or no UK experience, usually, from people with not even from that country. Yeah. So they have extremely limited knowledge.
Yeah.
You have to remember, living in a country and working and travelling by train is different to visiting a country and travelling around for leisure. And we've done both. So it's an entirely different thing. So they'll often look at Facebook groups, they'll look on websites, and they'll listen to podcasts, and they'll do various things. And some of the information on there is just so wide of the mark.
Yeah.
And it's just
I have to say,
money.
The one thing I see quoted all the time is the 12-week window for buying train tickets.
That's historic, and that's a rule of thumb you'll see quoted, but it's nowhere near that quite often.
Yeah, and
I mean, there's lots of complications as regards train tickets in the UK, misunderstandings and interpretations, but that sort of 12-week rule was such an old-fashioned concept. At times, now particularly things like weekend travel, it could be down to sort of 4 weeks before they actually guaranteed what trains are running, but it's close to the sort of 6 to 9 as an average.
Mm-hmm. And I think that, but that's the point is kind of, and that's what I've seen when I was talking about these other Facebook groups, is that people quote what they have read and it's a historic, but they're not up to date with the knowledge. Yeah. And I know somebody in our Facebook group said, unfortunately, like a lot of this stuff can actually have an impact on people's trips
most definitely.
If they believe in this. And it's really hard. And I understand. And we actually say this exactly the same because there seem to have be a plethora of Facebook groups at the moment for London travel, for UK travel. And quite often what I'm seeing is it's not in the realms of reality. It's not. It may be somebody sharing advice from a 1 week trip to London 20 years ago, and it's just outdated.
It's a different thing, but it's that repetition of things that aren't true. I've seen. Obviously, I can't mention names, but I've seen certain names that appear across different groups, and they are repeating that same incorrect information.
Probably because they're thinking they're being helpful.
Yeah, maybe they think they're being helpful.
And I think the whole point of what we're trying to say in this podcast is like really choose your trusted source of information, and use that as your go-to, which is what we're trying to say. And this is what we publicise all the time about UK travel planning, London travel planning, about Doug's train knowledge.
I have the credentials. I'm not very good at blowing my own trumpet, but when it comes to the railways in the UK, I have a huge amount of experience.
Exactly. But also, and this is also something I say as well, is that we are both British. We are both born in the UK, grew up in the UK, and I've lived in different locations in the UK. Doug's travelled extensively. We've both travelled extensively around the UK. I honestly don't know when I speak to anybody.
Everywhere by train.
Places that we've been to that people have not. Lots of people, even in these that run these groups, have not been to. So I think we spend a lot of time, we spend a lot of money, we do a lot of research constantly, traveling around the UK, so we keep our knowledge up to date. We're not using AI. We're not producing all these driving routes and all this kind of stuff that's going viral. We literally research and are passionate about what we do and passionate about making sure that you get the right information. So stick with us. That's what I'm saying. Yeah. Stick with Doug when it comes to train travel, because we genuinely care. We genuinely want you to get the best out of your trip.
And listen to people who know. Somebody who's lived in London for 2 weeks is not an expert. Trust me.
Yeah, and obviously the thing is, I know, you often you don't know what you don't know.
No.
So we've talked a little bit about your background and expertise. I mean, the rail industry is in your blood. It really is. And you've actually we've been married for 20 odd years now, and I've grown to love the railways around the world. I mean, we've traveled extensively around the world by train, but I love the certain trips in the UK that Caledonian Sleep, I absolutely love that journey. Yeah. That I would not have ever done, but that you've introduced me to. And also being able to kind of, know that you're the expert. So if I'm traveling around the UK and you're not with me, and the same with, I always talk about the fact that our daughter did this a few years ago when she was stuck trying to get from, was it Manchester, Liverpool to Edinburgh, and all her friends were meeting for Hogmanay, and they couldn't get there for various reasons. That Doug actually got them all to Edinburgh because you know the route knowledge.
The station staff didn't have that information.
So that's it. So you've got that kind of insider knowledge. You've got that that you're not guessing. You know the stuff because you've worked in the industry.
That is true. That's true.
Yeah. So obviously, I'm like happy to show you off because I know that you know so much. So let's talk about the different ways that you can help travellers plan with confidence to travel around the UK. Now, we know that not all of you will need the same level of help. So we offer different options. And actually, this is across the board. This is for your itinerary as well. So if you're planning just a general UK itinerary, a general London itinerary, this is exactly the same as what we offer as well. But I wanted to actually make it kind of clear in terms of what the steps are, and then you can choose which would work for you.
Yeah. Give you options.
Yeah. So, I mean, the first thing we've got is if you go to the website.
Yeah, that's right. We have a whole section in UK travel planning. It's called the UK Train Travel Hub, and it's a whole list of information. There's even an introduction. You can see my face on there.
It's a video of you, yes.
Yeah. So that you might need to wear your sunglasses if you're doing that one, just looking at me. But no, that's me. Sometimes easier to put a face to the name and the voice.
Which, of course, people could do on YouTube as well, because you've got a lot of successful YouTube videos now that you've been working on as well. So if you actually want to see, and I know people have said actually on YouTube, it's nice to see the face behind the voice.
That's right. I mean, the YouTube videos, the first few I did, it was cringeworthy trying to put them together. I should point out I have no media training. I have no voice training. I have nothing of those skills, but I work on the basis that next video is better than the last one.
Absolutely.
And take it from me, there is passion there when you see me doing everything I do. Not to mention I love traveling by train in the first place, but trying to record and trying to put information out there is a real passion for me.
Yeah.
And yes, it may be flawed. It may not be the perfect video you've ever watched in your entire life. And I guess it won't be. But I like to get the information out there. I like to keep things simplistic. I always have done.
Yeah.
The UK rail network can be overwhelming, but bite off little chunks, do a little bit of time. And that's what I try and do with the YouTube videos.
Yeah.
How to get from London to Bath.
Yes.
What are the train options to get from Heathrow into London?
Yeah.
Try and keep things simple, because if you don't know, it's easy to, even watching a video, to be overwhelmed. So keep it simple.
Yeah, well, I agree. I mean, I know that when we're planning trips, I like to look at YouTube and look at the specific video about a specific train journey that I want to take, or wherever, which country we are. But usually how to get from an airport into a city is the first thing that we start with. I know that's, so it is useful. So I will link to those. But so when you get onto the UK Train Travel Hub, there is a video of Doug. There's also a sign-up box where you can sign up for our free 12 UK train travel tips. So that's a quick kind of win. You can download that. It's a few pages and check that through with kind of the kind of tips that we offer. So that's the first one. That will get you then signed up to our mailing list. And at that point, you will receive some emails from us all about train travel, which we think are very, in fact, I think we have something like an 80% open rate on those emails.
That's good. Yeah.
Which is amazing. Which is fantastic. So after you've done that, the next thing that we recommend that you look at is Doug's Guide to UK Train Travel ebook.
Yeah.
So we update that often. And what's included in that?
Well, everything. The ebook is, for anybody who doesn't know, an ebook is a non-physical book. It's an electronic version of a book.
Yeah. So you basically you download it.
You download it
in a PDF form, and we kind of wrote this one together because I was also kind of thinking about what people would need to know, and we updated it, and we update it anything that changes.
Yes, that's right.
And this is a great introduction.
Yeah.
If you haven't experienced UK train travel before.
That's right. What it is, it's a step-by-step, everything you need to know if you've never travelled to the UK before. And you have to remember, a book is sometimes people's best way of learning.
Yeah.
They appreciate that more than, just a bullet points here, there and everywhere on a screen. And
absolutely. Well, I mean, this is something we've been talking about as well, because we have, for example, we have the YouTube videos, we have the articles people can read, we have the ebook again that people can read.
People like different mediums.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. It depends how you learn. So we're kind of trying to kind of target that really. And I know in that one, it gives you really just the sort of questions that we get asked all the time, but it's a very easy, readable format.
Yes.
You've got there's information about train tickets, information about train passes.
Yes, that's right.
There's information about
train operating companies, what that means.
Yeah, so explaining, so you have you'll understand enough that you need to know about traveling in the UK if you get the ebook. So I will link to the ebook in the show notes. But it is a bestseller. The reviews we've had for that are absolutely amazing. In fact, I will put some of the reviews in the show notes as well. You can see the feedback we've had from it has been absolutely phenomenal. Now, so you're into your planning, you've accessed some of the reading, you've bought the ebook, and you're starting to put your itinerary together. Now, this is where we have a couple of options. And we had a lovely Q&A the other day with a lovely lady down in Melbourne. So I'll say hello to you because I know you're a podcast fan.
Yes.
So talk about this. This is a brand new service that we've literally just launched in the last couple of months. And it's basically a Q&A session with Doug. So it's a 30-minute Q&A session with you. So what do people need to know, and why would people access that?
I think it's because if you don't necessarily want a whole consult as regards your entire trip to the UK, this is just breaking it down into exactly what the problem area might be. And if the trains are going to form a big part of your logistics in the UK and you've got some fundamental questions there, it ticks that box in a major form.
Yeah.
Because everything else then sort of farms away from that one point. So, if you want me to explain about national rail cards, if you want me to explain about the ticket types or some of the London stations or how you're going to get from London to Edinburgh, for example.
And you can look at if it works as well. I'm thinking in terms of that, because I think some of the questions being asked about is like, how much time will those connections work?
Yeah, that's right. Or I have mobility issues. Can you explain what options are open to me there?
Yeah.
And I can. Sometimes it's purely reassurance. People come to me and, in things like the Facebook groups and when we've done our itinerary consults generally, is they have an idea. They think, well, this might work and this might work. Tell me, I think I know about the two together rail card. Can I explain it to you and you can tell me if I'm right or wrong? Mm-hmm. And, things like saving money on, say, with a national rail card, that can make or break a trip because you can be talking, quite a saving.
Yeah. Yeah. And also you talk about Brit Rail Pass as well, because obviously you're very experienced with that. So it's all based on your knowledge and experience. And I don't think there's a question that anybody asks that you haven't got an answer to.
No. I mean, there's certain questions that come where you think, I need to fact check myself on that, which is fine because then information I give that helps to update my knowledge as well. A good question yesterday. It was an excellent question. I knew the answer and I was right, but I double checked myself. Was about applying the National Rail card to the London Underground.
Yeah, the Oyster card. Yeah,
the Oyster card, and I was about 99.9% sure of that, and we checked because you actually helped as well, and I was right.
Yeah. Yeah, so but it's the fact that you'll check and again make sure that people are on the right lines, that they know exactly what they've got to do, that their itinerary works. So that Q&A session is a 30-minute Q&A with Doug. That's a live session. So once you've booked that, you book a slot with Doug on our calendar, and then that is a Zoom chat, which we can record. So you've got that information afterwards. Yeah. And Doug will go through. We do send like a little form for you to fill in just with some information, or just to email us kind of roughly what the questions are, or, what it is that you want to talk about.
That helps you get the most from the time.
Yeah, exactly. So Doug can prepare but you can do it off the bat if you need to, but it's better to prepare.
And don't be afraid to talk to me. I'm quite a normal, easygoing person. Absolutely.
Now, what we have done with that as well is we've introduced that 30-minute Q&A. And we've bundled that up with the ebook. So if you haven't bought the ebook and you're thinking, actually, I want to just have the Q&A session with Doug, and I'm keen to read the ebook, I would suggest you buy the bundle because that's actually the best value.
That's a really good
idea. So you get the ebook, you also get access to Doug for 30 minutes. So, and we find that is often enough for people, and that you're happy with that. But we do offer kind of a next service up, which is our video itinerary review. Now, we do this for train itineraries, UK itineraries, we'll do it for London itineraries. So basically, this is slightly different, is that I'm usually involved with this as well.
Yeah, you were involved with the Q&A the other day, you stuck your head in.
Well, okay, yeah, sometimes I do, but I just like to say hello.
Actually, she listens, and then if she thinks, actually, I want to go and join this one.
I'd say hello. But Yeah, so with a video review is that you send us your itinerary and then Doug and I will go through it. So generally he will look at the train aspects of it, the logistical aspects of it, and I will look at, other questions, because you can ask questions as well when you send that itinerary, and then we will do a video and send you that back. We get great reviews on that.
And if you're perhaps a little shy and you don't want to talk face to face, that's fine. That's your thing. That's not a problem at all. And it's the same dedication. We put the same effort in to whatever your preferred choice is. We give it 100%, don't we?
Absolutely. And again, it's a second set, in fact, 2 sets of expert eyes having a look at your itinerary. So we can check if you've got, is that unrealistic travel days? And that's often what we get asked about. Is it realistic that I can do X, Y, and Z in a day? Yeah. Is it with the train or the driving? Is this possible? Yep. Am I staying in the right, is there somewhere else you'd recommend that it's better to stay in? All of those sorts of questions that we get asked about. In fact, often we've caught out things like people planning to visit places that aren't accessible or open.
That's right.
That people have put into the plan. So we find that out. And then our kind of premium offer is that you get a one-to-one consult with myself and Doug. So that's a live session. Yeah. So the video one is not live. You just send us your itinerary and we do the video send it back to you. But we do one-to-one consults, don't we?
We do, and we love every single
We've been
second
doing those for years now. We absolutely love them. Now, if you're thinking about, do you need a full consult? It's a really helpful way to look at your whole trip. So not just trains, everything, and to support you developing your itinerary. So often we will ask if you've got an itinerary that we can look at, but we've also had options where people have kind of said, look, I want to visit London, then I want to go to Cornwall, and I want to go to the Lake District, and I want to go to Edinburgh, and how can I do all of those things? And I've got this length of time, and we've actually logistically worked it out with them over that time period so that it makes the best use of their time when they're in the UK.
We do that together. We work very well when we do that sort of
we do. Oh, and I love it. And I have to say, I love meeting you guys. So we've just met some amazing people over the years. So I want to say a huge thank you to all of you have booked a one-to-one consult with us, or even a video consult. And in the Q&A, we love to meet you. I'm actually going to be meeting some people. I've actually met quite a few people from the podcast over the years, and I've got a tour with a few people that I'm attending in May, which I'm really looking forward to.
Having some lovely friendships.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Yes, we have made some wonderful friends. So if you've got a more complex or trip and you want that big picture planning, that is our personalised support and service. And that we love doing those. Those are only open at certain times due to the fact that often Doug and I are travelling and not necessarily together. But if you want a one-to-one consult and you go to check to book and there is no slot, always email us, because generally once we know what it's about, we can fit it in. For example, when you were in the UK last year, I had a lovely request from a lady in San Francisco. So I just did that one-to-one consult with her and helped actually plan her trip from London and some day trips from there as well.
I did when I was here in Australia. I did one when you were in the UK.
Yeah. So also, I will say, not only are you getting our expertise with that as well, with any of these, is that we also have some of our preferred partners, our trusted partners in the UK that we work with. We work with amazing people, amazing British companies, amazing just tour groups. And we've taken care over the years to make sure that we work with the best. And so not only do you get those, you get to meet us, but you also will get those recommendations as well.
And reassurance.
We've had the feedback we get is absolutely phenomenal. Absolutely phenomenal. So Doug and I reached out to some of the amazing people that we have met over the years doing our consults, just doing the website and the podcast. And we have met some amazing people, haven't we?
We have some lovely
people. So we reached out to some of these fantastic, amazing friends. I mean, they're now friends.
They are, indeed so.
And so each one of them sent us back a message on SpeakPipe. And so we are going to play those for you now. These are all genuine people that we never had met before we started doing this business. We are so lucky that we consider these people friends. But this is what they had to say. And actually, I have to say, I'm going to let you know before Doug says anything, but Doug was obviously listened to all of these messages, and he actually had tears in his eyes when he listened to them, because you were very touched, weren't you?
I was. It was really lovely. Thank you.
So the first message we're going to hear is from Rob, and we met Rob, Heather, and their son Beckett. a few years ago, actually, in the UK.
In Whitby.
Yeah, we met them in Whitby, but we had helped Rob with a ACE consult.
Yes.
We did a one-to-one consult with him. Now, Rob is an excellent planner, absolutely fabulous planner. But he reached out, we helped him with the consult, you helped him a lot with the train travel aspect of the trip.
Yep.
Rob actually has been on the podcast a few times, loved interviewing Rob, but I'm going to now let Rob take the floor. So this is what Rob had to say.
Hi, Tracy and Doug. I just wanted to say, we can't say enough about how much Doug's expertise helped us in planning our 1-month trip with our son a couple years ago. Coming from the U.S., we don't really have a lot of trains around here, so we don't have a lot of experience riding trains, planning trains, and to be quite honest, the trains over there in the UK can be rather intimidating to those of us without that experience, with all the different routes and the companies, ticket prices. So when we downloaded Doug's ebook and then scheduled a consultation with both of you, it took a lot of the stress out of all the choices we had to make regarding the train travel, especially. I think a lot of people are afraid of making mistakes that could affect their trip. Are they choosing the wrong line or fare, not wanting to waste money. And Doug's suggestions and expertise definitely gave us the confidence in the choices we were making and that we were going to have a good time and not a stressful time riding the rails and enjoying our trip. So thanks so much for all your help. And everybody should definitely take Doug up on all the expertise that he has to share with you, from which lines to pick, days to travel, what side of the train to sit on, and so much more. So thanks for all your help, guys.
Thank you so much, Rob. That was lovely, wasn't it?
Oh, that was unbelievably nice. Thank you very much.
So lovely, Rob. And we really appreciate that. We loved meeting you guys and helping you with your trip, and that you bought the ebook and then you booked us to have the session. And I just want to actually say at this point as well, because we are constantly finding people asking questions in other groups, and I've mentioned this before, and getting wrong answers. No. And
some of those answers just do my head in.
I know, and I just want to make the point, and Rob has said it about saving money. It's like you've already spent a lot of money for this trip.
True.
And so just to get Doug's expertise is going to cost you a little bit more, but at least you'll know that what you're doing is it's right, and it can save you money. So I'm not going to say anything more about that, but I just think it's so important, and there's so many people out there who will rather take some advice in another group that's completely wrong than spend a little bit of money and get the help. Even just buying the ebook, it's $39, guys. Just buy the ebook and just get that help and that expertise. Anyway, I'm going to go on to actually the next person, who is Wes. Wes is also incredibly special. Wes has booked, I don't know how many consults with us so far.
Yeah, a few.
Quite a few.
And there's another one in the pipeline.
Yeah, absolutely. So Wes, hi Wes, hi
Wes.
Beth. Wes knows the UK, but you've helped him numerous times with his train travel. He bought the ebook and then he's had the consults.
That's right. Wes's experience, for his job, he travelled to London.
Yeah, and he's going to say that in his...
and he expanded his post-retirement away from London.
Yeah, and that's where you've helped them, yeah. So let's listen to what Wes has to say. So you're ready to be embarrassed and touched again about this? Yes.
Hi, my name is Wes Wetherill, and I'm from Glen Ellyn, Illinois, just outside of Chicago in the United States. I wanted to tell you how helpful I found the services of uktravelplanning.com, and in particular, Doug Collins' help and advice. I've traveled frequently to the UK for business, but it's one thing to feel comfortable in London and another to navigate the rest of the UK. Doug's train experience and expert advice have helped me get off the beaten trail and into areas I wouldn't have otherwise felt comfortable traveling. For example, the Cotswolds, Wales, the Lake District, the Peak District, and more. Most recently, Doug's suggested train itinerary for Scotland formed the basis of my 40th anniversary trip with my wife to her ancestral home and up through the Isle of Skye and on the Caledonian Sleeper on the way back to London. A highlight of that trip, by the way, was that we actually got to have lunch with Doug in Cheltenham. Well, anyway, I'm planning my 2026 trip now, and I'm looking forward to the travel consult that I'm having with Doug to make sure that I make the most of the trip. I've used his train book. I've done the itinerary consults every time I travel with Doug and Tracy, and the train consults with Doug have been fantastic, above and beyond what I had expected. Anyway, I'd highly recommend Doug and his wife Tracy to make your trip something to remember forever.
Well, thank you very much, Wes. I don't know what else to say. It was humbling meeting you and Beth and be part of your celebration trip. So it was fantastic. It was a highlight of my trip, to be fair with you. It was really good. And hear those lovely words said by you was a bit much.
Oh, it's so lovely. Honestly, I have to say, after he's listened to Rob now, he's listened to Wes now, and he's like really, really just, it's lovely, isn't it? And it just makes what we do so
I'm not used
special.
to compliments.
You are. I'm always complimenting. He says that like I never compliment him at all, but I do. But I think and thanks to Wes for your support over the years. You've just been absolutely fantastic,
really has.
and we've really appreciated that. And it's, like I say before, it's like we consider you a friend, and I can't wait to meet you and Beth as well. I mean, I was a bit jealous because Doug had that opportunity and I didn't. But anyway, our next lovely review is from Laura. Now, I have yet to meet Laura. Neither Doug and I have met you, Laura, but I feel like you're already a friend. I know you are a friend. Yep. We chat all the time, and this is what I'm saying about our business being so much more than just helping you guys with train travel. It's like you become friends.
That's
and
right.
it's just fantastic. So this is Laura's lovely review of your train ebook.
Oh, me again. Oh, dear.
Yes, well, it's all about trains, darling.
It is, yeah.
Laura Sternheim-Diltz here. Doug's ebook made me feel confident to take a train ride, a 5.5-hour trip to Glasgow, and access passenger accessibility and be able to relax and enjoy the skyline, the countryside, and first class food service. It was wonderful having a cup of tea and a biscuit and relax and enjoy the United Kingdom. Thanks, Doug.
Thanks, Laura. That was lovely again.
It was. Thank you very much.
And Laura's actually going to be coming on in April, and we're going to be talking. We're actually going to be doing a whole episode about accessibility.
Yes.
Because Laura had to do a lot of arrangements for her trip, and so she's going to share how she prepares and some of the websites that she used and what she looked at. And obviously, she used your ebook, and we chatted a lot with her about how she could get assistance for when she was on the trains, and she found that incredibly helpful. And I know that reduced a lot of her stress and anxiety. So that was amazing. So thanks again, Laura, for leaving that lovely review. And next we have Deborah, and I've been lucky enough to meet Deborah. You haven't met Deborah yet, but hopefully later on in the year when nice. Deborah's in the UK with her husband, and maybe hopefully we'll both get to meet her then. But I met her a few years ago in London. So Deborah is a huge fan of our work and is really finds your train information and help and support really helpful for her. And so this is what Deborah had to say.
Hi, I'm Debbie Harson from the United States, and I want to comment on Doug's UK train travel book. I purchased and downloaded Doug's UK train travel guide several years ago. The quality of information and helpful practical advice was literally priceless. My husband and I traveled throughout the UK seamlessly in 2025 following those tips. We encountered large stations such as King's Cross London and Waverley Station Edinburgh, mid-sized stations in York and Newcastle, and much smaller stations in Whitby and Anmouth. Using Doug's timing guides helped us plot our travels and consider all the options that he had so carefully detailed before booking. Those options included the different types of tickets, first or standard class, what apps to follow and download so we could see the train's path, arrival time, potential delays, food options, and even how to plot and plan our luggage. While we self-planned our trip to incorporate specific areas, I found the suggested itineraries within the book extremely helpful, with maps, travel times, and highlights of each step. We have planned yet another UK adventure for the spring utilizing train travel, and I have returned time and again to this guide. We plan to take the Eurostar to Paris, and I am so thankful for the easy-to-understand process from St. Pancras to Paris Gare du Nord that Doug has outlined. Overall, I highly recommend this book as an essential tool for planning and enjoying all aspects of UK train travel. Thanks again, Doug.
Thank you, Deborah. And I will just also say a guest star from Shakespeare, because I don't know, you heard the cat? That is Deb's cat, Shakespeare, who had a little starring role in that message from Deb. Thanks so much, Deb.
Thank you, Deb. That's really good of you.
You know, you're so supportive of everything we do again. And, you know, meeting you through this process, it's just been absolutely fantastic. Again, you know, everybody that would talk to would just you just become friends. Honestly, it's just so amazing. And thank you for leaving
such lovely words. Thank you so much.
So the next guest we have on is Michael. Now, Michael, you helped plan his trip. Michael's got a fascinating story.
He really has.
All related to the Titanic. I'm not going to tell you more. Really, you should go and listen to Michael's episode. I'll link to it. Yeah. In fact, Deb's also got an episode. I mean, you should listen to all these guys' episodes. Laura's also got an episode. Wes has got an episode. Yes. Rob's got an episode. All these guys have been on the podcast, which is also fantastic, amazing. So Michael has an amazing story tied to the Titanic. I'm not going to say more than that because I want people to listen to his story. It's so good. So this is what Michael had to say, Doug.
Thank you very much, Michael.
Hello there. My name is Mike, and I'm from the USA. And last year, I scheduled a consult. And the great thing is, not only did I get information specific to my journey, but I got information to help me get around any problems that might arise. In our case, Caledonian Sleeper encountered a problem, and we had to find another way up to Inverness. And every piece of advice, including the ebook that I gained from the consult, kept me from panicking. So if I were you and you're planning on going, get a consult from Doug and Tracy.
Thanks, Michael, so much for those kind words. And,
it's really good of you,
And
Mike.
it was really, I know during your trip, it was just so good, like you said, that you had a few stressful things that happened, but because you had that help and support and you'd read the train book and had the consult, you felt so confident about dealing with those problems. So that's amazing. And the last guest that we have on the podcast today, again, Tina has been on the podcast.
Yes.
Tina was one of the very first person that we actually did a consult for a few years ago. And Tina, again, we've stayed friends with. We chat with Tina all the time. And Tina agreed to come and leave and said some lovely things about you. So I'm gonna play that now so you can listen to that, Doug, and everybody can hear what the lovely words from Tina.
Okay.
Hi, this is Tina Lang here with the European Farmhouse, and I want to give a shout out to Tracy and Doug for the amazing work they do on UK travel planning and the European Train website. I have been using them for years as a single woman traveling my first time in Europe. They gave me 2 trip consults, worth every penny because they go into so much detail and make you feel very comfortable about what you're doing and not having any major hiccups. Also, I've used Doug's train travel ebook. Also a great investment. My friends consider me an expert in train travel, which is hilarious, but I cannot say enough. I am their biggest fan. It is worth every penny and all your time. So check them out.
So thanks so much, Tina, for those kind words for UK Travel Plan and our global travel planning website as well. We do have a lot about kind of travel around the world as well. Yeah. Because Doug is not only an expert on UK train travel, he knows about train travel all over, really.
I've done a lot of it.
Because you have done a lot of train travel. A big shout out for you, Tina, for your European Farmhouse as well.
Yes, definitely.
So Tina is your go-to for antiques in the US, and I will link to Tina's website. She started that business.
Looks fantastic.
Since her time, all the time she spent traveling backwards and forwards to Europe. So that's what she's been doing. So that is amazing. So thanks so much, Tina.
Thank you, Tina. And we actually met Tina as well in Tewkesbury.
We did. We met her in Tewkesbury. We actually also met her at King's Cross Station when she was getting a train up to Edinburgh. We've met Tina a few times. So thanks so much, Tina. And I want to say a huge thank you as well to Rob, Wes, Laura, Deborah, Michael and Tina for their support over the years. Also, a huge thank you to Deborah and to Tina, who are ongoing supporters of the podcast. They sponsor us every month, which is amazing, and it allows us to keep producing the podcast, which you guys all get for free. And it's all helped because we have some of our fantastic listeners and now friends who are supporting us with this process. Also, thanks very much also to Laura, who I know she gives us ongoing support as well. Wes, Rob, Michael, all of you guys out there that have given us the support over there, we really, really appreciate it. I will put a link if you would like to sponsor the podcast, and we really, truly appreciate that you do. I'll put a link in the show notes that you can sponsor us from as little as $3 a month. You can do it that way, or you can go to, we've got a tip your guide button. You can go on that and you can give us a recurring sponsorship on that as well. If you'd like to give back and say thank you, we really, truly appreciate it. As I said, I will put links to all of the different services, products that we offer to help you with train travel in the show notes at uktravelplanning.com. But if there's 3 things that you do from this episode, number 1 is sign up for our emails and for the free guide.
Yep.
Follow Doug on YouTube, UK Travel Planning.
Yes.
And join the Facebook group.
Yes.
Absolutely. So I will again put that in the show notes. So it's UK Train Travel Tips on Facebook, YouTube, UK Travel Planning, and you can sign up via the UK Train Travel Hub on the UK Travel Planning website.
That's it.
If you know anybody who has planned to travel the UK by train and is feeling a bit unsure about it, send them in our direction. Please refer the podcast, the website, the Facebook group to those people as well, because we need to get the word out. If you've enjoyed this episode as well, please leave us a review. It helps so much for a podcast to reach other people. But I guess until next week, Doug, that's going to just bye from us, isn't it?
Certainly is.
And our usual sign off. Happy UK Travel Planning. Thank you for tuning in to this week's episode of the UK Travel Planning Podcast. As always, show notes can be found at uktravelplanning.com. If you've enjoyed the show, why not leave us feedback via text or a review on your favourite podcast app? We love to hear from you, and you never know, you may receive a shout out in a future episode. But as always, that just leaves me to say, until next week, happy UK Travel Planning.